Oh, hello, people. My name is Kale Boss. The only boss. Oh, wait, what else? Have you heard? Wait, do you know that Tap Tap Send is live in Texas? Oh, you didn't know? We went to New York. Now we are live in Texas. So people in Texas and around, all you have to do is to download Tap Tap Send. Yes, Tap Tap Send has become the most unique, secure, and fast way of sending money across the world to your loved ones anywhere. Okay, so download Tap Tap Send on Google Play Store or App Store, and when you're in Texas or around, you just have to put in the code TXGH. What did I say? TXGH, and you get $10 for your first transaction you make. Mahama media, Texas, you drew ho. Very soon we'll conquer everywhere. Download Tap Tap Send now on Google Play and App Store. Tap Tap Send. It's secure, convenient, easy, and fast.
Everybody check now. Check it. Fa check it. Fa check it. Check it. The beat is real. Don't will make it kill ya. Get your green select glucometer and check it. Sugar level, check it, check it. Fa check it, check it. Fa check it, fa check it, check it, check it. Green select glucometer, check it. Fa check it, check it, check it. Put sugar level, fa check it. Fa check it, check it, check it. Fa check it, fa check it, check it, check it. Green select glucometer. Everybody check now.
This advert has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Move on to other businesses, and this business has been trending, leading the conversations in our industry here in Ghana. It's about a press conference held at the Ministry of Information, where some stakeholders led by Deputy Minister for Creative Arts, Tourism and Culture, that is Mark Okrakumante, the daughter of our sitting president, Jan Kroma Akufo-Addo, and a promoter, musician, then be put on what? DJ. A promoter, musician, DJ, in fact, and everything. Some small god was also there. They were all supported by some musicians. Of course, Grandpapa Reggie Rockstone was there. Legendary Sammy was also there, and of course Nino Black Sheriff was also there, alongside some other people whose voice carry a lot of weight. And I want to ask that so far, okay, so just check the photo on your screen. These are some of the people who were there. DJ Mesa Sarkodie's official DJ was also there. D Black, the Ghana boy, was also there as well, and some other faces that I might not readily recognize them. Okay, I hear the guy in Cap is a producer. I hear is a meth mix or something like that. They and other people, including some people they invited to come cover the program, they were all there, and the agenda was simple. The agenda is that they want Ghanaians to consume Ghanaian songs. Tiebiem. So nipa be rebe na omo screen is wa hu omo no. Bi mu ni momo nimpa. Omo ye top figures. And tu ni momo nim de dada. Omo koye eye press conference. Na press conference na agenda na omo preaching it say. Omo pese a free Christmas way ko. E na even ye di Christmas ni wi a. Omo pese Ghana for bo Ghana for nyum. Ghana for ntie Ghana for nyum. Na yenyai aportiso for nyum no emphasize nyum free America, nyum free UK, nyum free Nigeria, free South Africa. Omse dabi. My enkotena pub bi say na 25th adri kwa kwaji eni na ekotran ne amapiano nko na yebo dabi. Ye free amapiano so aba na yebo Afrobeat, and so Afrobeat Nigeria de nko na yebo. na fe yente Sarkodie nyum yente Stoneboy nyum yente Shatawale nyum Black Sheriff nyum Sammy nyum D Black nyum omo si ebasa emwa na enkomo iba so no enkomo no aye bebre wo ye industry ni aye bebre in the sense that ebi mo hu ni say ade amu ye ehu because mo ye ne ade bi so ye mo ba bi a won hwe amom je be come more more because yes we cut Nigeria mo nyuma would you guys survive it South Africa mo nyuma would you guys survive it ama enkomo bebre koso na Sammy ni Shatawale mpo de omo de revive omo grobi omudi in the past ama omudi agrone sa on Twitter. And I want to ask my people that what do they also think about this agenda? Say is possible say a free neck Christmas in other months ahead of us or years ahead of us. Ghana for nyum kwa na bebo more and now see bebo Ghana for nyum bebre a chain omo mu fra manoneba. And amanoneno Africa ka hu nya bruchiri nko a. Ye bisa say enyum na ye pese omo no ye de ne ye de chain omo de na eba no a enu nti say o ye DJ and now ye presenter now o radio so na say o pese bonyuma obebo de eja omo de na na enkomo we enkomo asese ye biem na say o call pap ebia o no boys girls mokotena ba bi a rewi kakra eno so enyuma ekoho no sen na ya ohunu all these things enkomo me pese ye di enyumre here on Class Showbiz live on CTV, Ghana's #1 television station. Of course, Sammy Flex me waha, Roland Amate waha. At the Mensa Chatome last year, omo hosting party be a friend of piano. Omo kofa bound for free South Africa by. Ema omo be rorom ho kakra. This year, omo sika Santoma ntimi anye. Nti no as a baby Christmas mo yere ho.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, be yeah. What kind of be na me MC me ko kan back there. Kan mane ko ba bebre there. Aye hu. Yes, don't go fast South Africa for your press conference me come be. South Africa for near vibe here ba be shows. And you say, Oko Sa pro oh no free UK zone. Oh okay. Deja vu, yes. Oko Sa program now say I'm a piano vibe na more. Bebre. Enti ye see no man for business say de na yakoya press conference no. E ya de ye betimi achieve. As an industry ye trans na ye kase ye hwehwemu a ye betimi achieve. Ana say emfa because enkofo no nyum na efra bonten ba ebi mpo ye de chen ye de no. Anyum na efri abonten ba no ebi mpo no otia timiza anyum we na eze nipati enti ye be den de no overshadow omodie no. Now let's get back to the issue where a group of stakeholders in the entertainment industry here in Ghana have called for the play of local songs, aka songs made in Ghana, more than songs coming from outside of Ghana. This agenda has really stirred controversies where people think that it is an agenda even against Nigeria. Others are also saying this is not achievable because people who are listening to songs, they have their taste, they have their preferences. And others are also arguing that the DJs that you want them to play your songs, what kind of incentives are you giving them? Nothing for them so far, yet you want them to do your bidding. This is not going to be possible. These and many more are the discussions online, but here in the studio I want to know what my people would also add to the conversation. But let's take you to the press conference held at the Ministry of Information here in Accra. Then when I come back we will talk. Stay tuned, I'll be right back.
Greetings everybody. I would rather have eye contact and all protocol observed. We're going to go right straight to business. I think this is a long overdue call. Different people have done it in their own capacity on different levels. Since we joined the industry, or since we became professional musicians, since we started traveling, we've always been advocating the fact that we need to hear more of our own music when we are in our own territory, because that's what we see when we go to other territories. If you go to Kenya, for instance, you hear strictly East African music. Yes, of course, we have the Nigerian invasion, which is inevitable, which is not the competition here. That's not the complaint here. That's not the target here. What we're talking about is that, especially for the fact that we have Beyond the Return, which has become like an asset to Ghana. Should anybody travel here and listen to 70% foreign music and 30% Ghanaian music, then what music have we sold to those who returned? So my point here, to not drag it and to not be a long speaker, my simple point here is that if we value the people coming in and the influx of the masses coming in, then let's feed them our own. And I represent music, so let's feed them our music. Like, it has to be a deliberate approach. It has to be strategic and deliberate, without no malice to any other force or any other group. Let's make sure ours is ours, and let's make it appealing to the masses. This is by drumming it in every other day. If you play foreign music to Ghanaians every time, that's what they are on, and that's what they play. So when you go and check Apple Music Top 100 Ghanaian songs, you see foreign music, but that's what they hear on their radio, and that's what they vibe to. So that's what rings in their head. So when they want to play something, they want to play their favorite, they go and play that, and you can't blame such an individual because they've been indoctrinated, if I'm using the right word. So if we want to do this, it has to be strategic and deliberate. Thank you.
Blessings to everybody. You see, with me, everything I say is brief and short and heartfelt. You know, this is not a blame game. We are not blaming DJs, we are not blaming artists, we are not blaming consumers. It's a step in the right direction for us all and our music and our culture. So play Ghana. Blessings.
So, ladies and gentlemen, Nkrofo Mufi, thank you for listening to us, and we hope you guys will support what we're doing.
Well, so that was captured from the press conference at the Ministry of Information. Ena yenuanumi edi sa jumai na jumano amesa mo ne tofa biem de omo brofo mo kan nyina ne se yedi bronyan na ye ba beko ye nimu die wa odi nnwom be ye juma okrom ha Ghana sesie no se oye pub operator ebia oye wo bia ba bia manfo ba be no msa kakra o bonyuma bogana nnwom o hotel a edranyuma manfo tratra abonten tie nnwom Bogana nyom o TV o radio station o bonyuma Bogana nyom yako night club na ye papia ehonso ye bonyuma ye Mogana nyom yako events planning and plotting album na DJ spawn bo monyuma omo Ghana nyom. In fact, but ye beko bia na enyum ho bia no my high on se ekobo enyum be free by be for forever ye mo Ghana fo nko anyum and come on mo course e course ho no say ya na tie. But you see the big question is asema o mo kan e betimi aye adwuma se ye bebo Ghana fo nyum nko a okromo ha e betimi aye adwuma e bi kropo say na by this time e dey obi afo anyum won the phone so yi. How can you tell someone say Monyuma ope or nobody any day? Now the any day so you're lonely at the top. Obey day now cause more shake lonely at the top. Obebo. These are some of the questions. Now me person minya the initial commentary from my people. Now me so first of all, what do they think about this idea even before we go into the nitty-gritty of the other issues coming up, as well as the cancellation threat by Nigerians against Black Sheriff, some opposing views from people on this particular project, especially DJs, and again those who even think that this is not achievable. We will be getting into those ones, but let me first ask my initial question of What do they make of this whole project? Kojo, I mean, no start it. So project we yes, launch we see no. And then about him, I found.
Yeah, me say launch program be saying yes as a Ghanaian creative and also a musician. I'm happy. Say baby sabit me akoso. Okay. But beyond just my happiness, no. I was also thinking of how realistic that call is. It's not just about making a call, but is it attainable? And and me to near Mamuna me share and me when say call it the aba, but say a be effective no. It is the percentage near very low. Okay. Because there are a lot of factors that contribute to why certain music from other countries and dominating in our space. Okay. And until you have identified each one of them, now we're analyzing the causes, anyhow you can balance it. You know, you can just make a call, but okay. And you know, now when you say, especially DJs or more in the conversation, were there a back room conversation with DJs to also know some of their challenges and how they can also help in doing this, because say what me identify a problem in the space now person will solve here no obafem na afi omo behi omo di omo di dwuma no wa pagya omo asisro se ne be ya kasade any akrokro no also odibebit no matimi abuy into your idea no. But when this call was made no reactions from DJs reaction from other sectors they are the people where we will need them to push the agenda
this idea
so how can you achieve it? So it tells me say enka oto boase e na odi kan meet wo any eti wo masidi ntine bia omobo amanonenum, and some of them clearly have said say amanone phone tuya and people can attest the fact that most of Ghanaian DJs are on the payroll of Nigerian artists. Yeah, they pay very good. Fact. Some of them are say Ghanaian artists are stingy. Capre. Few. Most DJs are more radio sooner than the Yentuamuka. Station in Tuamuka, almost favor by giving them the platform. But radio be a station be a beautiful fra. Number test transmission, and sana talk shows and programs now started. Yeah. But DJs said you treated DJs who Chrome terrible. And tell me what I said, Neno, what is so important. Everybody is looking the way for them now. Of DJ. Meanwhile, NCABiano. Okay, I say, yeah, internet to buy, social media start to buy. Almost say, DJ suggest you. Yes, some who here problem. Yes, DJ said, chum. Yeah. It do maybe you chrome hack. Artists here, a bomb listener or friend Instagram bloggers. I said, remember, a good costume. What must say? I'm afraid DJ be a bloggers. Any a friend. Now we saw say bloggers no Bible could DJ no no or pages no so na answer or we try when we know the kotowa asa there is a DJ already debut on croffonity obebo into no other ways of promotion aba add it to the already existing ones but what now decided say radio is no more, TV is no more, we here I don't want to my chain na okwa na samba. Now, if you say at the DJs in your day, you will come. And Samini, Eka, we say, and you might DJs new Poma amount for the now, Omuko, no more question because okay, be a apple near the idea, not Nigerian, a songs on Kwan, because almost since when narrative in Nana, the same I say. Near a trendy online and no DJs neighbor. So where from this analogy say DJs in the airport enyom wo radio so Ghana for then they intend go on the streaming platforms and stream. Meanwhile, no, in this modern way of selling music, you know, that's barrier, and I said that's process now. Yeah, this sending only to the end user. No? It has been shortened because of digital stores.
Yeah.
And yes, first now, all the new about DJ and son of our bona. This is acting. Say an artist ninja the flyer towards them a dropping away. No, I said timer. Yeah,
but over the
premier no. We are waiting. Near counting back that. Today they know so no who say any that know they are kind of playlist.
Okay.
So it is a good call, but we shouldn't do things in the haste.
Okay.
Because we only say it's in a haste.
Okay.
Especially the Play Ghana this month. You know? I've not seen any musician campaigning maybe in the previous, let me see, 4 months to the December. No music. Maybe and come yes awareness. No, now I catching to the people just few days to even in the sorry we're only in December. December. How can you get the impact? I miss all the challenges we are facing until we go down to the root and get to every stakeholder and solve the problem. No? Appeal, no?
Well said. Kojo King himself, an artist, of course, he's a songwriter, performer as well, and also Ameya who said, "See any day, a bedding." Say yebebo Ghana nyum kwa anase yebebo Ghana nyum achen obi ade and come on ekoso and I'm seeing your messages we Ghana for 70% metie dodo na adwen o hwen na opese o adwen bi a opese o kire we hu kwa de a Fabra your WhatsApp number na that screen is on 0247648930. I'll take time to read all of them, I promise, because I want to know what the general public and other people who are not actively involved in this space, I want to know what they also think about this. Because one, and you know, apart from say, yeah, Sammy Flex, me wo artist I managing the Shatawale, me ko travel bi ne yebonyuma. Yebonyum na da mesa. Omo Shatawale nyuma be me there, that's fine. But omo bo obi so nyum na da, I would still dance and jump to it. Enti aden na yebe mana koye say nko na de na koye. Enti yeni nkomo industry for no sema mo kani mo so amo abonte na mo consuming nyum no kwatra pa bi na e bo Ghana for nyum nko na bia ya more some Davido B, some Burna Boy B, some Wizkid B, some Ashake bia, some Rema bia obey okay ana opesa playlist so as part of your fun seeking adventures. This and many more are the kind of conversations I would want us to have this evening here on Class Showbiz Live on CTV. Adam, first, your general overview about this whole Play Ghana agenda. What you think about it? I'll come back again to all of you for other follow-up questions, though.
I think it's a good idea.
Okay.
But wrong execution. And the execution was wrong. If you look at the topic for that day, there's a minister's press briefing at Muslim Ministry of Information. For the ministries and other agencies to come and tell the public what they are doing or what is happening in
their stories.
Quarters. Now, if you get the topic is promoting the initiative Play Ghana hashtag. To push local music content for Christmas period and lead to legislation for broadcasting local content acts. And lead to legislation for broadcasting local content acts.
Okay.
Now this is where I feel this was not planned well.
Okay.
Because if you clearly look at me saying so at the Madam Jankoma na Okasawasa CFM, and what she said is that this is a program, an initiative between her, CAA, that's Creative Art Agency, and Small God. So clearly,
Small God as an individual.
Yes, I clearly see that this is coming from Small God, because he started a conversation on Twitter some time ago, and I'm sure maybe due to his closeness to her, he pushed the idea to her, and she jumped on it. If you listen to when Jack Kuma was speaking after the opening address, she said Small God will come and elaborate. So clearly you could see that he is the architect of the whole thing.
Okay.
And if you look at what they are saying, that this is leading to local content broadcasting bill, when she was speaking, I was expecting, because this is a policy issue, so I was expecting to hear policy direction, policy issues. But all he said in that area was that we have sent, they were calling for a review of the cultural policy and the broadcasting bill.
Okay.
They didn't tell us they've sat with, those drafting the cultural policy, this, that they've seen. And as a result of that, they are proposing this and this and that. They didn't tell us they have reached out to the Ministry of Information, where they are, discuss the broadcasting bill, and this is what the broadcasting bill is proposing, and this is what they want to do. We need to hear serious policy issues. But this is a huge platform.
Fact.
What she said was a bit lighter for me on the policy side, because the broadcasting bill was drafted in 2012 and laid before Parliament in 2019. Since that time, the only minister I've heard talk about the broadcasting bill was Catherine Afeku, who was talking about the fact that if it's passed, it will help revive local movies, because at prime time, media houses are forced by the law to show local movies and local series. So it means that there will be more job for the producers to produce more of this content. And it will create jobs. She was the only person who talked about it. Now, if you leave the side of the policy, which I think is not weighty, you come to the other side. This is a campaign. And clearly this is a PR campaign, because one, you want to change behavior, and that's the focus of PR campaign. You want to pass on a certain information. You want to create awareness. This is purely PR campaign. And if you look at PR campaign, what they did there is just one aspect of tactics under PR campaign. Press conference. Now, in a PR campaign, you need to have a problem that you want to fix. You see, when Kojo was speaking, he was saying that there are so many things which are contributing factors. You also mentioned some.
Exactly.
You should be in the problem, because if you do not get the problem well, your solution
won't come out well.
So you state the clear problem, where the problem is coming from. You need to identify.
And that they ignored.
I'm coming. Yeah, and you set a goal and objective. Now, after setting the goal and objective, there's one important thing you need to do in the campaign. That's what we call benchmarking. Now, the benchmarking, we say that based on our research, we've seen that they are playing 40% Ghana music, 20% Ghana music, 60%. So the campaign, with our benchmarking, we want to move it to 80. Because if you don't know where you are, you won't know where you are getting to.
Fact.
So the benchmarking will tell you it's based on radio airplay, it's based on streaming platform, it's based on this DJs, perhaps. So your benchmarking will lead you to do research, to know where you are and where you are taking it from. There is no benchmarking. Now, under that, you go to your strategy.
I'll come back to you again, so be wrapping up on this one.
You go to your key stakeholders. Who are your key stakeholders? Because a campaign needs to target key stakeholders. Where are your key stakeholders? Your key stakeholders, hotels, pubs, restaurants, DJs, programs managers of radio, and a lot of people. Your key stakeholders, even in the stakeholder mapping, there is a certain power model which will tell you that there are stakeholders with high interest, high power. There are stakeholders with high interest, low power. Low power, low interest. So if you don't know your key stakeholders and your stakeholder mapping, you even get it wrong there. Then you come to your strategy. Now the strategy will be, okay, stakeholder relations, media relations. Under media relations, that's why I said what they did was just one. Under media relation, which is a strategy, you need to develop a tactics. That tactics is what you use to achieve the media strategy. So the tactics will be one, maybe press release, press conference, interviews. Then stakeholder relations, that as a strategy. The tactics will be maybe, okay, every day or every week, we will display a list like MVP we do in football, a list of DJs to say that these are the DJs who have played more Ghanaian songs.
And where are they
and you say you are praising them
from radio, from the clubs, from the streets.
Yes, that is the work you are doing. So you know what you are going to do? Every week you are going to generate conversation because Adebi Betomwa, you move you on to the next. So you are generating conversation and you have your evaluation. So PR campaign, they got it wrong. A common flyer, which will be one of the tactics, flyer, to have a messaging. Under every PR campaign, you need to have messaging strategy. Then the messaging strategy, you have key messages. They don't have a messaging strategy. That's why people have tuned the conversation that we are banning people. And I'm saying, so far, one of them, who is part of the agency, went to pick KOD's flyer. Why 4-5 years play 100% Ghana music. Old flyer.
That black and red.
Yes.
So it was not their design.
No. Old flyer. 4-5 years. Into KOD Kwako under the post to say, you are not crediting the person who did it. This is an old flyer.
Oh, really?
They didn't even have a flyer.
Wow. I never knew that was an old flyer. So that flyer was not part of
4 or 5 years ago. So they did, because they didn't have a messaging strategy, they didn't have key messages, they went to pick somebody's. And that is what is running the show. And that is where people are easily manipulating the conversation to say we are banning people. And because they didn't have key messages, there is no clear messages to banter into Obia Kadia. There's no central point of conversation.
I'll come back to you again. Sure. I think I love your breakdown so far, and I can see more comments coming in as well. We you bet me aye ana yentimi nye ye mo Ghana for nyum nko a free December imu a nipa bebre aba Ghana kromu ha e ba bedi bronya the be friend December in GH year of return activities ni bi no ye betimi achieve ana say ye bebre ansana ye timi achieve tuble jeble. Okay, Ro, your initial remarks on this? Ansana maba other questions. Nothing. You're moving on to our last business for the day.
I think the agenda is very good. At least we all would agree. Say in every space there need to be an agenda as to how we can move forward as a people. If collectively Yentimia agree on Adieba it will be very difficult for us to move forward as a people. So on a surface value, say we the call is a very good caller. Saying in I rally a chair a bit boy abwa chima. However, a question I won't say you bet me iron a iron derby.
Adentia.
I know, I say yes. 7% me bogan and you ma meeting me abo. Me per se the whole of this year. Me ka say as an individual me per se me tie Ghana and you I can do it. That is the I.
Okay.
Ne there be ni ye say you share your current situation and how music is being consumed in the world currently. See you bet me it is next to impossible. It is next to impossible. In fact, the narrative in part is minimal. Our more leaders our conversation where a pushing for 100% in the crash say, I need you back. Because we know say in our current space, because of internet, some people are even able to infiltrate your culture, influence your culture to the even without them stepping foot in your country.
Okay.
What is the population of Indians in this country? Many sure both say maybe 5%.
True.
But then, what is the influence of Indian culture on our media space now? Exactly. In the say, you can say, oh, yeah, 100%. I bet to say MBA for ban. People living in this country wouldn't be able to do certain things. But say their colleagues, celebrities living outside can do, and it will be played here. And you know, I say, you run a coffee course, you know, yeah. That is how it is going to be. Now, for the agenda is good. Let's ask ourselves, okay, your target audience, you're saying, you can see you push your agenda, hinamu, and you person are affected. Now, say, oh, check it, target audience now. So many factors come to play. From the artist himself, artist no creative product. One.
Okay.
2. Omo boame ya nyom. Eni 2.
Okay.
3. Omo boame di sika shem aton nyom. Eni 3. 4. Omo je nyom no. Ebi ye will be more mokas okay, yeah, genuine now boam the command microphone or be consuming and no and son 5 the consumers.
Okay.
In our current space, about 10, 20, 30 years ago, our media space is limited to the traditional media now and this agenda, even without policy, and can be 50%.
Okay.
Even without creating an act. Or even passing a bill on the can bear 50% and commit me simply with this. But as we speak, ways are amount for the young ecoma consumers, you know. 1,001. 1,001.
A dozen.
Be brave.
It would mean blocking one channel.
Never. And what been so about blocking? It was just like Bet said, I want them from an air contact.
Okay, to backfire.
In Nijuma, because the person that you are trying to influence, and we see, let's target the people very well. Oshe mode of communication here, of course, here as a target. Now, me targets in common, me no permanent.
Okay.
There is a certain group of people that we think in our mind is dominating our space, according to what we are seeing, and that is our target. Let's block these people. Secondly, there are certain people be a yen say the cause of our problem. But in fact, the power for them to even be the cause of our problem, the communists are power. Even that power has been minimized by a certain faction.
Okay.
Intino target no akoye bibie wo ho. Inti yenim say okay, le blame DJs. DJs na say DJs na that, but in fact, hey, most of the DJs can tell you say you book you for events, they can prepare their playlist. Hey, me ko say ho, even looking at we book you for wedding. But Drew no. The audience, half of the audience na different, like almost different behavior any character. And look at Mrs. Sunny playlist by half.
Of course, I bet you say that.
And
also shall not satisfy them.
Now to be a foreigners in one half. In as much as say you would want to sell your culture to them, at the end of the day, your job is also at stake.
Okay.
Satisfaction is what you are being paid for. If you are not able to satisfy the people there, forget it. Your next gig is not assured.
We are not calling you.
We are not calling you. Now, what is the policy level? And on what research? And I'm busy here to say, okay, yes, Play Ghana is good. But what is the percentage of Ghanaian music that's being played in Ghana? Is our research only based on Apple Top 100 and our Top 10 on Willie Nkwan? If that is what we are basing our arguments on, then we are failed even from the onset. Because that's it will shock you that Ashake's song is trending #1 in Ghana. But you will go to certain places in this same Ghana.
Nana, me see me ko MC wedding bi Kumasi. Na DJ no, eni mo bobo na me tiase. Na masa. but me Afrobeat.
No born your man.
Say, say, you know what? I saw Coca-Cola woman there. And Afrobeat because only a useful population. I say, oh, and Afrobeat no, me wow. One more sound. Or Boca and I'm maybe about guy be so about. Oh, master. Party,
yeah, now we.
Party, and
you're better.
Party, better more than a son. You're born to a taste. Maybe like this song they bang for
Accra, like number one topic.
Take me a different.
You understand? So let's research
based on Accra.
Know exactly what our problem is. Since I made it India for no more Chrome has a new more influence on our media space near example.
All right, thank you. Let me go back to Kojo and start this with him. Why do we think Enyobia na aje asemwe atu na afe aden na enipa omuko gina ho no obiti say Black Sheriff ase ne ho ya basam wo mu because dodo na e ka say especially omo outside of Ghana no ka say Black Sheriff dey na say okrampu den can come over there and say ka akwa part of it because you have been enjoying your call Nigeria or numbers I free hobane so you call outside of Ghana numbers if you hobane so na say nipa ko bi anya sa toko no mo ko an knowing your benefits in the industry and that matter no and say sanka odo ho krampo kan I'll ask and also then a Black Sheriff Nkwana the guy who has been singled out and again why are some people opposing this when this comes as a good call asempa enti obi be kasa asempa so den kan kasa for bonnet for asempa kono a ye jetum but looks like this one asempa we no ni do na to atwene and why is Black Sheriff the guy being fingered more Kojo let me ask you this na fe minko my last topic so pacho
I can for baby say ofiti prekon pause here moja neba
okay good
yes enti no me hwe sani ade ne ba impromptu na odi say okay musicians ni wo ho ene afro so mumra ni enyewe asempa e do makoma so but as to say they were ready for it, you know, and also asemfufo. Until you just come and stand there and don't forget say it will come with reactions.
Okay.
Because go for so nienti masa ademan nye de enkoso and cotes na omo enso edisa ade ne bai emudi enimu. They know the things they do ebema sa niema we so ede etwatu they know the right things to do now. Because environment here influence here you don't have so much control over it because the digital no so wo block me wa ha aha no so betin aba block me na won't be nyere e be block me wa ha Black Sheriff dia amount for the eguni so no wo hwe yenua mo a omaka Sammy yes legend wa ye adwuma na che o mo che Black Sheriff afena o sha ase yenim se Nigeria o no so nenyum bi akotop chat wa top chat wo ho wo hoda e no Ghana for the costume wo ho David Nigerians
fact
definitely obenya airplay 1 or 2 bi so baby enti the real narrative ne koye na communication ye so haphazard no e be den na obi mfa se na dem ka se I didn't say play 100% Ghana music. And one can ban but blogger no also try say on baba some what I say go maybe out there in a different way say ban foreign music.
Yeah.
It will quiet say hono okay, are you fit enough to take that decision? Senya certain sovereign countries, it makes us okay. We want to protect our maybe automobile manufacturing company. Now, almost the embargo ni tariffs are to cars import from and on nebano na omo atimi empower infant companies no more grown.
Okay.
And also on the consequences. Because cars na man you also denying people of luxury and certain other benefits be ever. Are you prepared say this time Ghana is ready for this war? Yakwa for long, this time it is all hands on deck, not group of musicians being near the Mabejina Konano. Na say ye target on near board tie back. Na Wakado. Now, woman, now do a new identity. Blacko, Eho,
Yeah.
And we wouldn't even need musicians to even come and say it in this way. Say, I dare Juma year, way, until the Oko finger. It is a collective thing from Ghana.
Yeah.
Not a single musician. And to be trying to Kromunga, so we are trying to finger out this person for even leading. Because they know but you are getting much love in our space.
Yeah.
So why do you even come there? Do you think the Ghanaian market alone is enough for you? And funny enough, what share your musicians almost streams now? Most of the streaming countries now Ghana.
Yeah.
So called platform be to say but for boom play any song where audio mark no money ade ade. Oko Spotify and Apple Music and iTunes no na. Streaming country top ones in Ghana.
Yeah.
And we are also benefiting from amount for so almost streaming from Amanoneno. So we should do it and do it right.
Okay.
Now yeah, musicians be animal and for animal because senior ye trouble Sammy pneumonia trouble black community at the adeno. A year and Kenya ye na obia in the new Abetrobia. Ultimate control more by Akubia. So no na for so
Adam, why Blacko seems to be the point of attack on this project, and again why some Ghanaian musicians are shying away from supporting this project. Two a kabomna in the next 3 minutes. First,
the reason most Ghanaian artists are not supporting it is that the campaign started on a wrong note. Like I said, there are no key messages, there are no messaging strategy, and certain tactics like flyers near them have not been done.
Okay.
So, like documentary endorsement, all of these things are part of the strategy and tactics. Those things are not in place. So, what are they pushing with? You understand? Fly and promo maybe. So, what are they pushing with? What are the key messages, the hashtags they are pushing with? There is none. So, about the so BIS or your say it will be coming from. There's no central point. So, people don't know where to start from. At times, I say, oh yeah, publicity work. Now sending videos, I'm bloggers, media people. At times, you need to even put like a certain headline on it because you want to champion a certain narrative. But this time, we illegal, and it's becoming difficult for them to put. It's why you are not seeing most of them. And the way it started and Blacko's thing started, it's like, see, some of them are afraid that, hey, they're not. And the reason Blacko has been singled out from them is that most, like those who spoke, it's like Blacko and the prime he's currently making strides in other countries.
Yeah.
So they know him more than
the rest of the people.
Regime. They are not in their prime. You understand? So Blacko never the prime. And other people are even saying that Sammy is bantering Shatta on Twitter.
Yeah.
When he could have also stepped in for Blacko when the people were coming for him on Twitter.
David.
In Penifone in Enyamo.
David.
Oh,
Suniho.
Come, Hanzo. Ebia and more spotlight now and watching Obian KB man. Oh, now so no Kwana air coming who say he did a post to banter. And this night I see nothing wrong. Today at the post at the soapy was on hit of them. And I was saying that they also did a local content law.
Okay.
There to be able to combat the foreign. It was difficult, but they were able to make it. So he doesn't see anything wrong if you want to protect local content, because every developed country will attest to the fact that local content laws are very important. Okay. Why is it that in our oil sector there is the upstream local content laws? Because we want to ensure that a certain amount and certain content is safeguarded for the locals, so that we can create jobs, we can increase cash flows to fight poverty. So this is also for a certain development in a certain sector, and it is good, but it is knowledge. I will urge our people, the leadership of the space, to sit down, put a plan, proper plan on paper, because this is for December and beyond. So it's knowledge. They should put a proper plan on paper. Like fire service approach and also. And everybody
okay. So. Thank you. Ro, wrap up this conversation for me. Nafe, Yanka Adiabaku Bishop Abekosu Ghana from 24th of December. I go see 28th. Yenshe. Now that's maybe sir, my powerful agent say, obey me. Obey me. Yes, Ro, quick one.
What's the identity Black Sheriff?
Hey, why then?
Psalm 1 said, blessed is the man who does not walk in the counsel of the wicked, nor stand in the way of sinners, or sit in the seat of mockers.
Okay.
Oh, Bible.
Okay.
And Obuhun say, or the or me or the walk of at the bonnier for. Definitely, when you make such calls, we know say it is going to affect certain people. In fact, when Nigeria made that policy, they knew very well it was going to affect certain people.
Okay.
But then, for the betterment of their industry, which is why they did that, and they knew, even till today, they still receive backlash from us, or from some of our people, and even other industries, saying, hey, you people don't play our songs, you people don't promote us like we promote you in our country. They know. That is the repercussion of having such conversations. So for people like Black Sheriff to be singled out, it has to do with your stake in the industry or in their industry.
Okay.
Or what you have to lose should you even be part of this conversation. Okay. Because we know, if you would want to sacrifice, if we want some of these things to come to life, certain people would have to sacrifice. Which is why there are certain people that when I saw them, of which Black Sheriff is part, when I saw them, I saw say, hey, trap with your matum. Now one year beham. Because they could have done this even without showing faces. The policy could have been passed.
They could have done a press conference.
Maybe no, I mean this conversation. The policy could have been passed. Later, see a campaign now. That is when some of these musicians would even bring their faces to even come and say these things. Because see, the truth of this is not a new conversation. What don't our musicians tweet every day? Shatawale gave a state of the industry address. It is the same thing that is being said here. There are certain people who tweet this every day. Day in, day out, people tweet about the fact that when you go to countries like Nigeria or other countries, you don't get the same support they get here in our country. It is a similar conversation they are having here.
True.
It is nothing different. So they didn't even need some of these faces even to start this conversation.
Okay.
Because the people that they are calling are more candidate. So now the only thing left is for you to bring a proper conversation to come and add up. In fact, make their conversation come to life. But when you bring them again to come and set them up like that, that is when you set people like Black Sheriff. And he has more to lose now, even in their industry, than any of the people there.
Okay.
Somebody like Small God, they call him Godfather. When you look at how he does his operations, it is not going to affect him like that.
Okay.
Samini, same way. But Black Sheriff, this year. You can see you two now, test rough.